Hey everyone, in this video, we'll finish up our basic tagging system with an Explore page. This will be a page where the user can filter posts by a tag query, and we will do this with a URL parameter inside the actual URL itself. We'll have links on the post detail page, take the user to the Explore page filtered by the selected tag based on what's in the URL query itself. There will be a search box on the Explore page to search for other tags as well. This will all require a new view, form, URL pattern, and template. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll first add a new view for this Explore page. So first let's go into our social app, and we'll go into our views.py. Let's come to here at the bottom. Let's create a new class for this view. So what we'll do here is we'll create a class, and we'll just call this Explore. We'll pass in view, and first we'll create just a get method. So we'll do a def get, pass itself, request, star args, star quargs. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the query from the URL. So instead of our URL, we'll have something that looks something like this. It'll be slash social slash explore, and we'll have a question mark query equals, and there'll be whatever, ABC or whatever. In this case, we'll be searching by a tag named ABC. This could be anything. This could be cat, dog, whatever. We search by dog then or whatever. Whatever we put in here will be what we search by. And so we need to grab this from the URL somehow. And luckily, Django has some built-in functionality for this. So we can get rid of all this, come back up here. And the way we can do this is we can set query equal to a variable, and this will be self.request to get the request, dot get in all caps, dot get, and then pass in whatever we want, whatever it's the name of it is. So in that case, we put queries equals, so we'll put query to get whatever query is equal to. And if we put query equals dog, this will return dog, and then we'll search by tags with the name of dog. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, hopefully we'll once we get into actually querying some different tags in our browser. But next, we want to go ahead and grab the tag that matches query, if there is one. So we'll do tag equals tag.objects.filter. And we'll pass in name equals query. And we'll do a dot first to get the first one, which really there should only be one anyway. And the reason why we're doing a filter instead of a get is because if a get doesn't return anything, it throws an error. And we don't want to have an error here to deal with. So instead, we'll do a filter. That way, there's nothing. It'll just be an empty array, and there'll be nothing here just to filter by, and it won't fail with an error. So now we have a tag. We can check if there is a tag. So we'll do if tag. In this case, I'm going to filter by the tag. So posts will equal post.objects.filter, and we'll do tags _n equals, and then in a list here tag. And this might look a little different than normal. Tags in our models, if we check it over here, is a many field. And so filtering through these is a little different. I'm going to make a video going into more complicated querying later, but for now, to understand this, all we're doing is we're taking the tag field and we're checking if this tag is in that field. We can do that by doing the name of the field _n. And that's just a special Django query that I'll go into more detail in a future video. But all that matters here is we're filtering by that tag, pretty much finding any posts that have that tag in that many field. But now if there's not a tag, we want to grab all the posts. So if there's no query, then we'll just show all the posts most recent first. And so to do this, we'll do posts equals post.objects.all. And if you notice here, I did nothing with ordering, did order by, or any of that in this view so far. That's because earlier on, we already added a meta class here with the ordering set to order it by default. And so it should already be ordered without doing anything else. And now that we have our posts, let's go ahead and create a context. So we'll do a context equals a dictionary. And this will be, we'll pass in tag. We'll pass in our post, do posts, so that equal to post. And for now, that's it. We'll need to add a form here in a second, but for now, that's all we have. So we'll just stop there. And then finally, we want to go ahead and return render a template. So do return render request social / explore.html. And then we'll go ahead and pass in our context into this template. There we go. And that's a very basic view setup. Now, earlier on, I did say that we're going to have a form here to search tags on the actual Explore page. So let's go ahead and create a form now for that. So we'll jump into our forms.py, come here to the bottom, we'll create another form. And this will be very similar to these other forms. It's going to be a pretty basic form. This just makes it easier to handle getting the value later on in Django. So what we'll do here is we'll create a class. This will be explore form. We'll pass in forms.form. And then we'll go ahead and set a field of query, which will equal a forms.char field. We want to pass in a couple arguments here. So we'll pass in a label equaling nothing, just to not have a label on the form. And we'll also have a widget. And this widget will equal forms.text input, which is the default, but we want to add some extra attributes to this. So inside of the arguments list here, we'll go ahead and put attrs equals another dictionary. And now inside of here, we can add different attributes. In this case, all I want to add is just a placeholder. So I'll add a placeholder, and we'll put explore tags. Since there's no label, it'll look a lot better if we have some sort of placeholder text within the field itself. So I'll have to add that right there to handle that. And that should be it for our form. So it's very simple. We just have one field here, which will just be a text box. We can type in a query, you can press enter, and it will search for tags that match that query, or posts with that tag that matches the query. Now we have that form, we can go ahead and add that form to our view, and we'll also add a post method to handle form submissions on this form. So back inside of our views.py, I'm going to scroll to the top first, import that form. So from.forms import, we'll add explore form here at the end. Just double check what we called it. Yes, explore form, that should be good. We'll save that. Now let's come down to our view here, and at the very top, I'm going to go ahead and add the form to this get method first. So we'll do explore_form equals explore form with empty parentheses. And now down in our context here, I'm going to go ahead and add explore form and set that equal to explore form. Now let's go ahead and add a post method. So once we submit, or once we type something in there and press enter, we want to go ahead and filter it by that query. So what we'll do here is we'll do a def post. We'll pass in self, request, *args, *quargs. And then we'll go ahead and do explore form equals explore form. But now inside of here, we want to pass in request.post to pass in whatever it is that we had, that we typed into that text field. Then we'll do if explore form.is valid. So if there is valid data passed into the form, let's go ahead and get that query value from the text input itself. So query equals, and we can do this with explore form.cleaned data, and then we can grab the query from the clean data. Next, we'll go ahead and grab a tag again like we did before. So we'll do tag equals tag.objects.filter name equals query.first. Then we'll go ahead and set posts equal to none. And then down here, we'll do if tag posts equal post.objects.filter. And once again, tags _in equals a list that has tag. Next, we'll do if there are posts. We'll go ahead and create a context, and this will equal two values, tag, piece of the tag, and then posts set to post. If there's not any posts, we're going to change our context to not include the post. Now I'll explain all this here in a second. I'm just going to get it typed out first. So then we'll go ahead and do a context equals a dictionary, and this will have just a tag, set the tag, and no posts in that context. Finally, we want to go ahead and return something. And we could use a return redirect like we've done before, but that doesn't make it very easy to pass in a URL parameter. So a much easier way would be to use the HTTP response redirect. So up here, we already have it imported, HTTP response redirect. We're going to use that now. So back down here, what we can do, I come out to here, I can do return HTTP response redirect and pass in an F string. F string is just a formatted string. Use the newer versions of Django. I believe you'll need like 3.6 maybe for this to work. I'm not entirely sure on that though. But anyway, we'll pass in our URL. So in this case, we'll pass the full URL in. So it'll be /social/explore and then add our query. So $query equals, and then two curly braces because we're using F strings, and we can pass in a Python variable. In this case, we'll pass in query. And if we don't have a query, so if there's no valid data, we'll go ahead and just return just the normal explore page. So HTTP response redirect /social/explore without any parameter. So now to go back through this real quick, what we're doing here is this is pretty similar to the other view in the way we're grabbing the posts. One difference you'll see here is I set posts to none. I checked if posts exist, and I create a context based off of that. The reason I did that is because if there's no posts, or if the search comes up empty, I don't want to show all the posts. I want to show nothing, so they know nothing. There's no posts that match that query they put in. And so I just set that to none. And if there's no post, I only pass into the context. So when it tries to load it, it just won't load anything because there's nothing there, which is why we have two separate contexts here, one with the post and one without it. And then I did the HTTP response redirect, and I passed in the full URL. Because we're not using redirect, the function, we're passing the entire URL in, so /social/explore $query equals the query. Just like how I explained earlier and how we're putting the query in the URL. We're just mainly setting it up here. And then if there's no data or something went wrong, instead of throwing an error and messing everything up, let's go ahead and just show the actual explore page with all the posts. That way it doesn't fail. That way it catches any failures and doesn't just break for the user. Okay, and that should be our full view for the explore page. There's a few things we need to do. First, we need to go ahead and add a URL pattern for this view, like we do with all our views. Let's jump into our urls.py. Let's import the explore view up here, and let's go ahead and use that. Explore. I believe I just called it explore. Yes, explore. So import explore. We'll come back over here and we'll create a new view for this. I'll put it right here. Do a path. This will be /explore, and then once again we'll just do a comma explore.as_view like we do for all of our class-based views. We'll set a name equal to explore, and that is it for the URLs. Pretty simple, no different than anything else we've done before. Now let's go ahead and update our links to show to update to the new link. So right now, if we go into our static, our JS, and our social JS, down here inside of our format tags from last video, we replace the text with this A tag, with this anchor tag right here. But we didn't pass the actual URL in because we didn't have it created yet. But now we have that URL path created. We can go ahead and pass it in here. And it'll be very similar to what we passed in, or actually it'll be really the same as what we passed in to the HTTP response redirect over here. It's be almost the same as this. We can go /social/explore and then pass in the query after that. So back inside of our social.js, let's go and replace this hashtag here with a query, or with the URL itself. So we'll do /social/explore, and we'll do a $query equals, and we can do a $sign and curly braces since we're using backticks and JavaScript, and we can pass in the tag name. Now, right now, we have access to a tag name through this words J field right here. But that contains the hashtag as well, and we don't want that in our URL. So we can grab everything after the first character and put it inside of here. And the way we can do that in JavaScript is we can do a words J, which gives us the full word with the hashtag, dot substring, and then pass in a 1. And that will start at the second character, since in most programming languages, counting starts at 0. So 0 is the first, 1's the second. We'll start at the first character, and since we didn't pass in another argument, it will go to the end of the string. So it will grab everything from the second character onward. Now with that set up there, that should create a link that goes to that page. But there is one more thing we need to add before this will work. Right now, this will probably throw an error if we try to reload this page. Yes. And if you take a look what that is, oh, we actually have an error in our form first. Let's go ahead and fix that real quick. So inside of our forms.py, it looks like I forgot to add a comma here. It's a typo there. So to make this template, let's go ahead and go to our templates folder, social, and we'll create a new template. So let's right click here, new file, and we'll just call it explore.html. And this template will have lots of similarities to our post lists because we're approaching the same thing with just a search bar and a few extra changes there. So we'll start off pretty similar. We'll first extend the base template. So we'll do extends landing / base.html. And we'll also bring in our crispy forms tags because we'll need that for our form. So we'll do load crispy _forms _tags. Now we'll go and open up our block content. We'll go and close it off so I don't forget right here in block content. Now inside of here, what we're going to do first is we'll create a container and we'll put our back to feed button, and then we'll go ahead and put our header and our search form. So first we'll create a div with a class equaling to container. Inside here, we'll go ahead and do a div with a class equaling to row, the margin top of 5. Inside of here, we'll create a column, class equaling column-md-5, column-sm-6. And inside of here, we'll go ahead and create a tag, href equals, and this will be our Django URL of URL post-list. And we'll go ahead and put back to feed, and we're going to close off the a tag there. And let's also add a class onto this. So do a class equals btn and btn-light for a light button, like the other back to whatever buttons are. Now let's go and close off our column and close off our row. So open up a new row. So do a class of row. We'll justify the content center, and we'll have a margin top of 3. And now inside of here, we'll go ahead and do a div with a class of column-md-5, column-sm-12. Now inside of here, I'm going to go ahead and do if tag. So if there is a tag, then we know we have a filtered search. And so here we can go ahead and put a custom title for that filtered search. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it h3. And we'll do explore. And then we'll do put a hashtag first, and then we'll go ahead and open up a Django template variable with 2 curly braces. We'll put tag.name, and we'll put posts after that. So all we're doing here is just creating a custom title that says explore whatever our tag is. So explore cat post or explore dog post or whatever it is, right there. I'm going to put a p tag on here as well, and I'll just put most recent posts tagged with, and we'll go ahead and put tag.name there as well. Close off our p tag, and then we'll close off this. Actually, no, we'll put an else statement here. So we indent these in here, and this one here will be an else. So if there's not a tag, then we have just our general explore page. So inside of here, we'll put just an h3. It just says explore posts. Close off that, and then we'll go ahead and we'll put a p tag here with a class of margin bottom -3, and we'll go ahead and do explore tags to find new posts. Close off the p tag there, and then finally, since we opened up an if statement, we got to go ahead and close it. So we'll do an end if right there. Next, let's go and put our form in here. So after we have that custom title, we'll go ahead and put our form. So do a form. We put a method of post. So when this gets submitted, it uses our post request we created earlier, our post method we created earlier in our view. Also give it a class of margin bottom -5 to add spacing there as well. And actually up here, I'm going to go to put a margin bottom on this p tag as well, just for consistency. So we'll do that there as well. Okay, so now instead of our form, first it says we're using a post method. We go ahead and put a CSRF token. So that's just 2 curly braces, 2% signs, and CSRF underscore token. Otherwise, you'll get a 403 error when you try submitting this form with Django. So make sure that's there. Next, we'll go and put in our form. So in our instead of our view, we call it explore form. So we'll put that here, explore underscore form. We'll use the pipe and put crispy to make it look good with crispy forms. And that should be it for our form. We go and close off the form tag. We'll close off the div, and we'll close off the other div for the row there. Now, the next part we'll need is just the same thing we have in our post list. So instead of copying all that over again, I'm going to go ahead and just just copy it from the actual post list template itself. So right here where we're at is right here. We're looping through all of our posts, and we're putting them out there based off of what's on the post itself, whether it's a shared post or an original post or whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and grab all of this here, copy this. And all this code is available in the GitHub repository if you need it there. If you don't already have it, I'm going to paste it all right there. Now, there's a few things here I'll be missing. So first we have, it looks like we're missing one div here for the row. So let's go ahead and put that, looks like inside of the for loop. So right here, we're going to put one more div. Also need another div outside of here for the actual container. I'm going to go and fix these indents real quick as well. So right here, I'll just I'll tab all of this in. Like that. Like that. That should be good. And that should be it, I believe. Oh, there's one more thing we need to change though. Up here, we put post list in our post list view, but in this one, it's called posts. So change this to posts and save that. And that should be it, I believe. Like here, we load the page. And now if we went to social slash, so looks like right here, we have an error with our URL. Let's double check that real quick. I put an extra slash here in front, and this should be in back. So let's just fix that. Save that. Let's come back here and look at this again. So it looks like tag is not defined. So it looks like I forgot to import tag inside of our view file. So let's go ahead and fix that real quick. So we'll jump back into Sublime, go to our views. Up here at the top, I probably won't have tag and import it in here. I do not. So we'll go ahead and import that right here and save that. Go through and see if there's any other errors. No. So there we go. So now we have all of our posts lined up here. And right now I'm showing all the posts because, well, there's nothing in the URL. If we were to type something in here, say cat, for example, it only shows cat. If I were to put tag, it shows all the posts with that tag on it. So this is all working very well. And you can see up here in the URL, it puts a question mark, query equals, and whatever we're querying by. So that is all that we really need to do to get this thing working. There is one more thing, though, that would be nice to have. And right now, there is no way to get to the explore page without going to the actual URL or clicking on a tag. We could always come into our profile, click on a post, click on a tag, and it'll take us there. But there's no way to get to this explore page to start searching for posts. So what I'm going to do up here next to the social network, I'm going to add a little icon from Font Awesome, a little compass icon. When you click on that, it'll take you to just a general page with no query. That way, if a user wanted to go look for new different posts, they could go here to search by tags or whatever else. So to add that, let's jump back into Sublime and let's go to our social or our landing, our templates, landing, and go to our navbar.html. And so what we'll need to do, we need to go to the first left side of the navbar. So that will be right inside of here. So inside of this UL, I'm going to create an LI. And inside this LI, I'm going to go ahead and create a tag with a class equaling inbox icon. We'll use the same inbox icon we used before. The same icon. So So we use the same icon we use for the inbox here for consistency, just to make it turn blue when you hover over it and those sorts of things. We'll add href equaling the explore page. So we'll do a Django template URL and we'll do explore just like that. And then inside of this a tag, we'll go ahead and create an I tag. So I'll go ahead and do an I class. This will be FAR, FA dash compass. I already looked this up in advance, so I know what this one is. It's just a little compass icon in Font Awesome. Go to close off the I tag, close off the A tag, and I think that should be it. Let's go ahead and save that and try it out. So here we go. We have this icon. We click on it. It takes us to the Explorer with nothing filter. If I were to type something in here, cat, for example, it can then search for a cat. So that's all working very well. And that is where we'll stop for today. Now we have a working Explore page, really basic, but it gets the general idea down from here. If you want to add some more features, you could. Right now, you have to click on the page detail to get to the actual link here. If you want to do something different there, you could, but for now in this video, I'm going to stop here. Now we have a basic tagging system working. A few more videos I want to add to this project, but we're getting close to the end. The code will be in the description below, as well as a link to the written tutorial and everything else that's usually down there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.